Hello there, folks. I'm out here in Tampa, Florida with my friend Hercules, and this isn't going to be a groundbreaking video, but I was watching a video from Doreen Virtue, who used to be in the New Age movement, and now she's she's converted and she's a born-again Christian. Some of the things I watched in her video about aliens being demons, which I agree with, was the guest she had on, and you can visit her YouTube, at Doreen Virtue. I don't completely trust anybody with anything, whatever movement they're out of and claiming to, and she's, don't get me wrong, she seems pretty sincere and all that stuff, but there's just some things, like there's a video on there about a guy that said why I stopped speaking in tongues after reading the Bible, and I'm just going, well, there's nothing in the Bible that tells you if you can speak in tongues to stop, so whatever, but whatever. So the video, she's talking to a guy, and they're talking about the government, showing videos and stuff of these UFOs and stuff, and they either haven't arrived at the knowledge of knowing that the government is the New World Order, and the government isn't one nation under God the Creator. It's under the God of this world, So they were talking about alien abductions, demonic, they're not aliens and stuff, but I've been thinking Lucifer and his fallen ones, which are the aliens, have been reverse engineering humans and our genetic code, and taking stuff from us and putting other things in us, the injections or whatever. It's like stem cells. They don't really tell you what stem cells are from, but you and I kind of both know that they're not from anything good, And that's where I feel like they came up with, performance-enhancing drugs. I believe that they took stuff out of humans and added other things to it, and, whatever. And I believe that that humans in the beginning were pretty, pretty big, formidable creatures, not like the feminine creatures we are now. So I don't know, just thinking about most of these demonic experiences always involve some kind of sexual or reproductive situation, and I just don't think people know that they open the door to this stuff by having these movies in their house, by having certain beliefs or New Age statues or Buddha statues or incense holders with the all-seeing eye. And I can't tell you how many supposed Christians I go in their house and they have some kind of Indian Hindu creature or whatever for serenity, and or they have a bumper sticker that says Namaste, which basically means I'm recognizing the God in you, or whatever, which is another Freemason. Everything is of the Antichrist spirit, if it isn't of the spirit of Jesus Christ, So I was just thinking, they've been reverse engineering, humans, just like if someone found a UFO, or say a car fell out of the sky and we started taking it apart. They've been taking us apart and putting us back together and adding stuff to us. Like I just look at stuff that we just take for granted and go, well, this must be what it is, like sugar. We call sugar, but sugar really is a chemical that poisons us. And yeah, it tastes good, you know what I mean? And all that stuff, but there's something about it that just doesn't make any sense, because I feel like sugar is the one molecule that probably interacts with mercury and all the other shit that they put in these shots and in our food and all of this stuff. So I don't know, I was just thinking about, she made me a cake yesterday, 2 days ago, on my birthday, and I'll tell you, for 2 days, from the 16th of the 16th the whole day to the 17th today, till about 2 hours ago, I felt like I got hit by a truck. I felt like my shoulders were ripping through my skin, like the bone was puncturing. I felt so sore. I could feel the screws and the bolts and stuff in my neck. And I haven't really worked that hard this past week, or even really worked out that hard, you know. And I was telling her, you know, it's sugar, you know, that's that's what did this, sugar, you know. People don't want to hear that, you know. People don't want to change their diets because you know, if they really were for helping us, they wouldn't be serving us Coca-Cola. There wouldn't be fast food on every corner, you know. Stuff wouldn't be such garbage. I mean, they've been feeding us garbage, injecting us with garbage, telling us garbage from day one, you know. I just don't know how people are so quick to believe garbage, you know. Like there's a rover on Mars, you know, like the fact that people would believe that the government or whoever would tell you the truth about anything, or people in power, or that your vote counts. And, you know, it's like the sooner you realize that this is all a charade, the better off you're going to be, you know. And all of this stuff is in the Bible, you know, and there's a reason why, because God knew that this was going to happen, and he wrote it here. Come on, bud. He wrote it here for people to see, you know, and for those that believe, and for those that are on the fence to see this stuff. But you know, I just get so many different messages and stuff about things, you know, about being a prepper and this, that, and the other thing, and I just go, I'm not preparing anything for the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause I'm not going to be here. I know that unequivocally. I will not be here for the tribulation period. When you think about it, the people in China and Afghanistan and Iraq who've been being murdered and crucified and everything else for being Christians, you're telling me that they go through another tribulation period? They've already been in tribulation, you know. And if you're living the way you're supposed to be, you've been in tribulation. So I don't know, not to go off on a tangent, but you know, there was a time where, you know, I used to believe that aliens were aliens, and I grew up in the church, and no one ever really gave me an answer about it. But, you know, sometimes I watch these videos, and I used to be the guy that used to write every freaking time, quit saying aliens are demons. I probably wrote that 67 times in YouTube comments. It sounds so corny, I would say, you know. But once somebody told me that those are the fallen angels, and the angels, and it's like, you know, I look at a television, like, there's nothing about a television, whether it has transistors or tubes or anything else, there's nothing about a television that fucking makes any sense that some kind, it's gotta be magic and witchcraft. I mean, there's copper inside it, there's gold inside it, there's electricity inside it. It's just like fucking voodoo, you know. And that's why I don't want one in my house, and I don't want these Satanists pretending to be nice to me and entertaining me, and then talking about the Chris Rock and Will Smith slap. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching a Mike Tyson, I just clicked on it, and him and David Spade are talking about the slap. I'm like, you know, I mean, are people that stupid? When I heard a police officer that I worked with, an ex-police officer, start talking about that, the fact that these people have been deceived for so long by all these other fake and false religions and deceptions, and you know, you know, and I tell people all the time, you know, there's a lot to say about the truth. The Holy Spirit is the Spirit of truth. So these people don't have the Spirit of truth. So they've been turned over to a reprobate mind. Like, all this filth I hear, like, I'm listening to the Rosicrucian book, the Hermetic Order of whatever book, audio book online, and just the book of the Satanic Bible and stuff I'm listening to, and they're just talking about how they're free sexually to be as filthy and disgusting as possible, and that there's no, you know, that they're their own God, and I just go, you didn't even make yourself. Like, if you're so smart, you didn't even choose to be here. And your parents can't go, oh, I want my next kid to be a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and this, that, and the other thing. It just doesn't happen, you know. For all of this stuff to be here and for people to believe, you know, the book of Enoch was found in a cave and they're going to tell you about it. And the same people hid the shape of the earth from you and hid all this other stuff, like black people being the first people, you know, Adam and Eve, you know, were the first people on earth. Well, I'm pretty sure they were as black as this shirt, you know what I mean? And people just think that the people over there in Israel must be godly people and this, that, and the other thing. And it's just so crazy to think that people believe that Jesus is Yeshua or whatever in the biggest deception time of our lives and what is happening, and how many Bible verses back up that that's not even real, but people fall for it, you know. And you know, it's sad, you know. And that's pretty much why I have the life that I have, because I'll be honest with you, I just get so fucking frustrated when I go out in the world and I just see how narcissistic people are. He's hunting for cats right now. When I see how, come on, bud. Come on, you want a treat? Come on. That's how you get them out of there. See how narcissistic people are about themselves. Like, you know, like, think about what kind of dickhead move it would be if I had a car collection. Like, you know, I had some nice cars and I'm showing people off all my cars and stuff. And it's like basically saying, I have all this stuff and you don't, you know. And all these people are proud of all this material possession. And, you know, these people have literally taken Lucifer as their savior. And, you know, the Antichrist is the inverted version of Jesus Christ coming to earth. So, you know, you see what's happening now. And it's like the people just are making a choice that, oh, we just are here and there's got to, even my dad's like, oh, there's got to be something else. Yeah, duh. You know, so anyways, I wanted to thank people for wishing me a happy birthday. I was watching the movie Metropolis a while ago, and I was like, you know, in the 1920s when this movie was made, they didn't know about robots. What would a robot even be in the 1920s? You describing a computer to somebody would be crazy. Like, oh yeah, there's a machine with all this stuff and it does everything for you. And I remember when I was in Sunday school, them describing the beast machine to us that would know everything, which basically is Google, you know. And, you know, people are just so, you know, with all this mask wearing bullshit. I mean, it's almost like it's the worst. I've said this 1,000 times. It's almost like it's the worst movie you could ever be in. If I said this was going to be a movie and this is what the movie's going to be about, you'd say no one would believe that stuff. It's not a believable plot. It's just man, it's just, you know, that's why I don't really spend a lot of time on social media. I don't really spend a lot of time on here. I don't really, you know, and people go, what do you do all day? And it's like, well, you know, I take care of my cats. I go to work. You know, I got to probably get a part-time job just because the hours aren't really there right now. But I go to work and I just stay off the grid, because being on the grid is just obnoxious. You know, I'm just telling you. So that's what I do. I built a life around not, you know, trying to rely on the entertainment and I don't want these people, you know, in my life. The second you let these people in your life and you start following a comedian, before you know it, he's wearing a mask and telling people to be responsible. You know what I mean? Come on.